guys, and welcome back to Project Z Garage. My name is Ansar, and today with my brother Al, we are going to do the first major, not really major, I guess the first upgrade to the Ford F-150 that we got. Just to check out the parts I got, I picked up some Hawk pads. These are the LTS light truck and SUV. Really good pads. I run these on pretty much all my cars, and I'm pretty happy with all the results. And then we picked up these GT Duralast rotors, because the rotors on the truck are totally shit and they pretty much are done. Now these are pretty nice. They're super, these things are beefy, man. These things are huge. Check them out. I didn't want to spend a crazy amount of money on this. I mean, it's just a regular truck. We're not going to be doing anything crazy with it. But we picked these up from AutoZone. They got pretty good reviews for the rotors, so I figured we'll try these rotors out and we'll run some good pads on it, and we'll see how the performance is. Right now the brakes on the truck are crap, and I think the pads are completely gone. I mean, I think they're done. When we bought the truck, you know, it was from a little bullshit car place, and I don't think they did much maintenance on it, so pretty much we're gonna have to go through the whole truck and do all the maintenance on the entire truck and go from there. So let's get to it. Alright guys, it looks like this is going to be a lot harder than it looks. We tried to take off the first lug nut on these, and this is what it looks like. We had to bash a 22mm socket onto it, because one of the things I read on the forums is that these things swell, and a lot of people were complaining with the stock lug nuts swelling, because I guess this is like a cap over like the actual lug nut, and we had to take like a long extension to put through the socket to knock it back out. We got a little bit luckier on the other lug nuts, as we didn't take them completely off, and then we took a little hammer and knocked it side to side until we could get the socket off and loosen all of them. And then Al's gonna blast them off with the impact gun. But boy, that was a pain. And these things are supposed to be on, I think it says the rating on them is 150 pounds. For each one of these lug nuts, so this thing was really on. We had to use a lot of force to get them off. All right, so now Al's gonna work on slacking off the caliper. It's a 13mm nut, and that's also rusted on. So we're gonna spray it with some WD-40, which we already did, but we're gonna spray it with a little more, let it soak for a little while, and then we'll go from there. Actually, while we're at it, I think we're going to take the other wheel off on the other side and soak it with WD-40 just to help the process. Alright guys, so we put a clamp on it just to push the pistons in a little bit. You can see the two pistons in there, and I just go back and forth, top and bottom, and push them in. This will make it easier for us to hinge this part out to take the brake pads out. Also, before, when I said these nuts that we needed to take out were 13s, those were kind of loose, so we switched it to a 1/2 inch. So a 1/2 inch fits perfectly on these two. And if you were just doing brake pads, you would just remove those two and you could take the caliper off to do the pad change. But we're gonna have to take the whole caliper and the caliper bracket off to get to the rotor and to remove the rotor. So just to show you, if we loosen these up, yeah, you can take that off out.
Remember the brake reservoir cap.
Also, you would need to take the brake reservoir cap off so you could just keep an eye on the level. Here, you want to hold this out? Take this out. So we're going to take, that's the top. Oh, and you can see how it just angles out there. Now that we push the pistons in, it's a lot easier to take out. We're gonna have to hold this bottom part. Alright guys, so you want to hold on to, let's just show out, watch it. You also want to use either a wrench or an adjustable wrench and hold these two sides so you don't break the rubber, because this will turn after you get this nut loose. So we're going to just take this off, and you can see the two pistons in there. We'll probably put a used brake pad on here and push it in a little more so it's more flat. This way we won't have any trouble putting the new brake pad on. And as you can see, these pads are shot. They're completely done. Wow. Huh. Look at that. That's all the way down to the metal, guys. This thing is definitely in need of a brake job. So the dealership that we bought it from, the used car dealership that we bought it from, did no maintenance on this. And now it gives us a chance to do an upgrade and you know, improve the stopping power on this very large pickup truck. All right guys, now that we have the pads off, we've tied it up. Always tie your caliper up because you don't want it hanging on the actual brake line. You could damage the brake line and it'll cause other issues down the road. Also, remember to change these guides out, because if those are dirty or messed up, it'll stop the pads from sliding and you'll have uneven pad wear and wear on the rotors. Also, these sliders, also make sure that they're moving back and forth easily, because they can sometimes get stuck due to different heat cycles and crap getting into the actual the track of it. So now we're taking off the caliper bracket. This is we're using a 21mm socket on it, and these things are on pretty tight, so get yourself a breaker bar and just, you know, get to it.
Can you pull on that for me?
I should have left that one on the bottom end.
That's what I should have done.
Alright guys, after you get the two bolts off, it should come off relatively easy. Make sure you remember the position of how you took it off so you can put it back on. So drop those down, we'll take the rotor off. Sometimes these rotor get rusted on, so you got to be careful. We actually got a little lucky. We sprayed a little WD-40 on it and it came off relatively easy. And you can see these things like tore up. Definitely in need of some new rotors and pads. All right guys, let's get to the new stuff. All right guys, so we've got the rotors off. We put a little bit of anti-seize on the hub just so next time if we ever have to change the rotors, it'll be a lot easier to come off. So we have our new performance rotors here. Al's gonna put them on now. Let's get them on. Hopefully they fit. There we go.
That's it.
Looks pretty good. All right, now we got to put the bracket on for the caliper, which should be like this.
Put the caliper out the way for me for 1 second.
Yeah. Also remember, you put a little bit of anti-seize. I usually put a little bit, but don't get it on the rotor, just a tad bit on the bottom and here so that the pads can slide smoothly. Always make sure that the pads slide smoothly in these brackets, because if they don't, it's possible for them to get seized up, and you won't get the full braking power of your calipers, or they just won't touch properly, and you have uneven brake pad wear. All right guys, we got the new Hawk pads on. We put a little bit of the paste that Hawk provides to stop brake noise, and then we're gonna slowly slide it on. And then you just gotta line it up and put the screws back in. These aren't on very tight, you know. I'll put the torque specs of everything in the description below, so you know what they're supposed to be. But these that hold the caliper on, they're on a slider, so they don't really need to be that tight. All right guys, so we finished the front brakes. They look awesome. I love the way these look. We got these rotors from AutoZone. They have like a performance series like that's called GT. I figured we'll try it out. They look pretty good. As you can see, it's got all the venting just like the stock ones. I wasn't looking for nothing crazy. You know, this is just a kind of everyday heavy hauler, you know, just to, you know, bring stuff from Home Depot or, you know, any hardware store. That's what we really use this for. I plan on using it to pull the Z or the Audi when we take it to the track. So I think this will do good. We went with the Hawk pads. These are the LTS pads, which should give us some better braking power on this. Honestly, with the stock brakes, whoever did them before did a horrible job. They were locking up. It looked like only one pad was being worn out more than the other side. So always make sure when you do your brake jobs to double check these sliders and to replace them if they're bad. Also make sure that when you put the pads on that they move smoothly on the sliders without any problems. And everything looks pretty good. Actually, you know, it's the first time really digging into the truck, and I was expecting a lot more rust. It looks not too bad. I think the next step is to do maybe some upgraded suspension on it, and we'll slowly upgrade it little by little. These slug nuts suck. Here's the other side that we just finished too. Put the anti-noise you know, stuff from Hawk that comes in the kit. I really like the design on the rotors. Hopefully that'll help with a little bit of the cooling. I mean, they don't look very deep, so I don't know how much they really are. I think it's more for a look than anything else on these, but it definitely needed a brake job. You know, the rust, looking in here, doesn't look too bad. I mean, when we have time, I think we're gonna clean this up, maybe do a little undercoating here. Definitely gotta change these shocks out. I think they need to go. Yeah, but all in all, really easy to do. Just, you know, follow the steps, take your time, and you know, it should be good. I think the next thing is figuring out, maybe paint these red or maybe black or silver or something. Come up with a different color for these, just to, you know, clean this rust up and make it look nice. These wheels definitely need to get redone. Whoever owned this truck before did a horrible job keeping up on it. There's a lot of corrosion on these wheels. I'm thinking maybe upgrade them to something else, or even maybe powder coat these. I think that would look good. Maybe do an all blackout truck, black wheels, you know, everything black. What do you think, Al?
I like them.
All right, so next step is put these wheels on. Another thing to look out for you guys with the F-150, this is a 2010 F-150. These are the worst things ever. Whatever from the manufacturer that made these swell, because it's It's literally a steel lug nut that's encased in, I don't know, what is this, aluminum or some shit?
Some shit like that, but it's definitely...
But we already cracked one. The housing on one is cracked. The one that I showed you before, we knocked the front end to try to get it out of the socket. I'm definitely gonna buy all new ones for this, but for now we're gonna have to use them back temporarily until I can get some new ones on it. I also bought some, I think these are I bought a set of MasterGuard locks. So we're gonna replace one on each side with this, and you know, and then just order a set of new ones, maybe something different. I don't know, I don't think I want to go with the OEM, seeing that these just are horrible after whatever, after these like expanded, and then the socket won't even fit on it. You can't get any pressure on them to turn them off. And these things are on tight, man. They're like 150 pounds, I think is the recommended torque spec on these. So that's crazy. All right guys, so the next step, we're gonna put the wheels back on, and then we got to go through the braking procedure. I think I'm gonna do it the same way I did it on the Range Rover or the Land Rover. We'll take it up to maybe like 5-10 miles an hour just to make sure we got good braking. We won't go all the way to a full stop, and then we'll do 2 or 3 more stops, increasing the speed, bringing it down to 5 miles an hour. Not coming to a full stop, and then going back up to maybe 40, and then coming back down to 5-10 miles an hour, and do that a couple of times until the pads break in with the rotor, and I think we'll be good. I think in the next video what we'll do is we'll start working on the rear. I bought a whole new set, Hawk pads and the new rotors for the rear, but for today I think we're gonna call it a wrap on this. So if you like the videos, guys, make sure you subscribe. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you're not new and you've been with us from the beginning, thanks a lot. Hit that like button, and there's definitely gonna be a lot more videos on this F-150 and the upgrades and maintenance that we're gonna do to it. All right guys, we'll catch you in the next video.